Knowledge is a major and significant ingredient for safety. It is important that you and everyone who operates an articulated dump truck understands proper machine operation and recognizes situations that could result in an accident, serious injury, or even death to you or someone working with you. No single training course, instruction manual, or safety video can possibly list all of the elements that go into safe operation and maintenance. However, during the next few minutes, you'll learn some basic safety rules and instructions you should know and follow while operating or maintaining a Doosan articulated dump truck. Doosan articulated dump trucks are ideal for applications such as road construction, large excavation, mining, and quarry applications. As with all types of machines, they must be operated and maintained safely in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It is important that both the operator and other personnel working on the dump truck read, understand, and follow the safety instructions provided by the manufacturer prior to operating, maintaining, or servicing the dump truck. The Operation and Maintenance Manual is your primary guide for proper and safe operation and maintenance. It should be kept in the cab, where it will be available for operators and others. Another excellent training resource is the AEM Safety Manual for off-highway dump trucks produced by the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. The operator must also read, follow, and understand the machine safety and information decals located on the machine. Any decal or machine sign that becomes worn, damaged, or missing should be promptly replaced. Never operate an articulated dump truck without proper instruction and knowledge. You will see this safety alert symbol throughout the presentation, as well as in the manual and on machine safety signs. It identifies important safety messages. When you see it, be alert to the possibility of serious injury or death. This symbol points out actions you should avoid to reduce the potential for injury. Once you have familiarized yourself with the machine, make certain you are dressed for the job. Do not wear loose clothing or anything else that may catch on controls or in moving parts. You should equip yourself with the proper personal protection equipment, such as a hard hat, safety vest, glasses, gloves, and hearing protection. Once on the job site, be sure to check the work area for potential hazards such as utility lines, narrow roadways, sharp curves, slopes, drop-offs, and soft spots. The operator must know and understand the appropriate hand, flag, and horn signals for proper job site communication. They must also know the overall size and weight of the dump truck to ensure proper clearances while operating or transporting, and to make sure the working surfaces are strong enough to support the dump truck. Follow all job site safety rules and be familiar with applicable local, state, and federal regulations. To ensure the safety of yourself and others at the worksite, never operate a dump truck while under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or medication that may impair your vision or judgment. Access to the dump truck and job site must be restricted. Only authorized personnel should be allowed in the vicinity of the worksite. Determine safe working distances and use barrier tape, traffic cones, fencing, or other means to keep bystanders or other equipment out of the work area. Prior to operation, perform a daily walk-around inspection using the information provided in the Operation and Maintenance Manual or Service Schedule decal. This will ensure the machine is in proper operating condition. Check under the machine for leaks, missing parts, or damage from rocks and debris. Tires should be inspected for proper inflation, cuts, and excessive wear. Inspect all handrails, steps, walking and working surfaces to make sure they are clean and not damaged. The cab provides all-around visibility and special wide-angle side mirrors. Inspect the lights, cab glass, side mirrors, and rear-view camera for damage. The mirrors and cameras should be cleaned for maximum visibility. The operator should stop operation and resolve the problem if their visibility becomes restricted due to broken, dirty, or out-of-adjustment mirrors or lights. Next, check the fluid levels, including the engine and hydraulic oil and coolant for sufficient levels. Continue your walk-around inspection checking for any other damage. Keep your Doosan articulated dump truck clean and free from dirt, flammable debris, and spilled oil or fuel. When getting on and off the dump truck, use only the manufacturer's designated access system. Always face the machine when entering and exiting and maintain a 3-point contact at all times. To avoid potential injury, do not carry tools and never jump when entering or exiting the machine. Never get on or off a moving machine. Always secure the door and windows prior to operating the unit. Once seated in the operator seat, inspect the seatbelt for wear and proper function. If any parts are missing or damaged, they must be replaced. Fasten the seatbelt securely across your hips for restraint. Become familiar with the controls. The parking brake switch is located on the right side switch panel and is provided to prevent the machine from rolling when parked. Always apply the parking brake prior to leaving the machine. The tip control lever is located on the far right. This lever controls the dump body raising and lowering. Pull the lever back to raise the dump body. Push the lever forward to lower the dump body. The center position will hold the dump body in position. Pressing the button on top of the tip control lever will increase engine speed to decrease the cycle time of the dump body when raising and lowering. The gear selector is located to the left of the tip control lever. The Doosan articulated dump truck is equipped with fully automatic transmission with 8 forward and 4 reverse gears. When the gear selector is in the center position, the transmission will be in neutral. The gear selector must be in neutral to start the engine. Press the button on top of the gear selector and push the gear selector forward to enable the dump truck to drive forward. Likewise, moving the gear selector backwards will place the transmission in reverse. The Doosan articulated dump truck can also be driven in a manual gear shift mode, allowing the operator to choose when to shift gears. This is done by moving the gear selector to the right to upshift and to the left to downshift. Review the operation and maintenance manual for more information on automatic and manual gear shift modes and their proper use. The throttle pedal or accelerator is located on the right and the brake pedal on the left. Operate these controls smoothly to prevent sudden starts and stops. Doosan articulated dump trucks have a vehicle control unit, or VCU, which acts as the main control center for the machine. The VCU is linked to the display in the operator cab and provides easy viewing of key machine functions such as engine speed, ground speed, selected gear, and other important machine functions. Now, let's talk about starting the machine. Prior to starting the machine, be sure the parking brake switch is in the engaged position. Move the gear selector to the neutral position. The engine will not start unless the gear selector is in the neutral position. Turn the key to the on position. Before starting the engine, look around for bystanders or obstacles and sound the horn to alert any bystanders. Turn the key all the way to the start position and hold. Release the key switch when the engine starts. Never attempt to start the machine or operate it from outside the operator's position. With the machine started, check the operation of all control levers, pedals, lights and switches for proper operation, including the accelerator and brake pedals. Be sure the LCD display panel is functioning properly and monitoring important machine functions. Stay in the operator's seat at all times with your seatbelt securely fastened. Operate the controls smoothly. When driving, always look in the direction of travel and be aware of changing worksite conditions. Next, move the machine back and forth, checking the brake and backup alarm for proper operation. Activate the rear view camera, which provides an additional means for operator visibility of the work area, and inspect it for cleanliness and proper operation. Always check that the dump body is fully lowered before moving. These large capacity dump trucks offer good productivity and performance. Here are a few general safety rules to operate your machine safely. Only allow riders if they are seated in the instructor's seat with their seatbelt securely fastened. Always slow down before turning and avoid sudden changes in direction. Reduce your speed and stop before changing the direction of travel. Stay alert and maintain safe distances from other vehicles. You, as the operator of the dump truck, are responsible for the size, weight, and position of the load. When loading, follow these steps for safe and proper operation. First, fully lower the dump body prior to filling. Apply the parking brake and place the gear selector lever in neutral. Be sure the load is distributed evenly in the dump body prior to driving off. And never exceed the load capacity and overload the dump truck. When unloading the dump body, make sure your machine is not articulated and is positioned straight on firm level ground. Engage the parking brake and place the gear selector in neutral. The dump truck should be stopped before the dump body is raised. The raising and lowering speed of the dump body is directly proportional to the engine speed. The tailgate on your dump truck should be used with free-flowing and loose materials, such as dry earth, gravel, sand, or similar materials. Do not use the tailgate if you are loading and unloading sticky or oversized materials such as clay or large boulders. The tailgate can restrict materials from dumping and cause the front of the dump truck to rise off the ground. When driving the dump truck, never turn the starter switch to the off or O position. This can lead to a loss of steering. Should your path of travel include crossing bridges or through water, be sure the dump truck and load do not exceed the permitted bridge load capacity or the permissible water depth. The permissible water depth for a Doosan articulated dump truck is up to the bottom of the front fenders. To avoid a rollover, avoid excessively steep or slippery slopes. Only travel up and down a slope and never travel across slopes. Travel slowly and do not change your direction of travel while on a slope. To control your downhill speed, use the engine brake or engine and retarder brake. Using only the surface brake on slopes for long periods can cause the brakes to overheat, causing brake damage. Doosan articulated dump trucks are equipped with many safety features. The cab is the most obvious. The structure provides falling object protection, or FOPs, and rollover protection, or ROPs. Additional guards for the cab openings are available if working conditions require additional operator protection. Remember to always fasten your seatbelt before operating. These safety and protective structures should never be removed or modified. If any parts are missing or damaged, they should be replaced. The cab includes an emergency exit in the event the primary exit is blocked. Remove the hammer from the storage location and break the front side window. After operating your Doosan articulated dump truck, the machine must be properly shut down and secured. Park the machine on firm level ground. Be sure the dump body is fully lowered. Avoid parking the machine with a loaded dump body. Next, engage the parking brake. Place the gear selector lever in the neutral position. The engine should be then turned off and the key removed. You can now exit facing the machine using three-point contact. Should the dump truck be parked on a slope, utilize the wheel chocks to prevent the dump truck from rolling. If the dump truck is not operated for an extended period of time, additional service may be required as explained in the operation and maintenance manual. All Doosan articulated dump trucks should receive regular maintenance checks to maintain high performance. Park the machine in a well-ventilated area on firm, level ground. Next, engage the parking brake and place the gear selector lever in the neutral position. Stop the engine, remove the key, and allow enough time for the engine to cool. Before performing any maintenance, be sure to chock the wheels, install the articulation lock, and block any raised components. Do not operate the engine in an enclosed area without proper ventilation. Always perform your maintenance safely. Read the shop manuals and follow the service decals provided on the machine. Place a "Do Not Operate" tag on the controls to notify others of the maintenance work being completed. Do not smoke when performing maintenance, especially when filling the fuel tank or charging the battery. When inspection or service procedures require the dump body to be raised, always install the body support device. Never go under a raised dump body without the body support installed, or work under a raised tailgate. The tip-up cab is another area which requires extra caution during maintenance. Follow these guidelines. Raise the dump body and install the body support device. Open the front hood. Remove the cab hardware and raise the cab as described in the operation and maintenance manual. Secure the raised cab with the cab safety support device prior to service. During the maintenance process, you should always inspect the tires for cuts, excessive wear, and proper tire inflation. Check and refill fluid levels, including engine oil and coolant, keeping away from hot engine and exhaust system components. Clean up any spilled oil, fuel, or other fluids. Remove any dirt, flammable debris, or objects to prevent fires and for proper airflow for cooling. Check the air cleaner. Be aware of high pressure in the hydraulic system, including all accumulators, and always release the pressure before servicing to prevent injury from fluids under pressure. When loading and unloading the dump truck on a trailer, travel slowly. Always use loading ramps free of grease, oil, and ice. The ramps must be of adequate strength, capacity, width, and length to prevent a rollover situation. After loading the machine, apply the parking brake, install the articulation lock, and chock the wheels. Lock the cab door and attach chains to the front and rear frame tie-down points to properly secure the dump truck to the trailer. When transporting the machine over the road, you must also know the overall dimensions of the load. Review all local, state, and federal regulations and plan your travel route to avoid any overhead obstacles or potential hazards. An escort vehicle might also be required. When towing an articulated dump truck, be sure to read and follow the instructions for proper towing procedures. The towing speed should not exceed 6 miles per hour and the distance should not exceed 6 miles. Operating a Doosan articulated dump truck safely depends on the operator's proficiency and knowledge of the articulated dump truck. Read, understand, and follow the appropriate safety rules. The operator must also observe and adjust to job site conditions and apply personal skills and common sense during operation. While it's not practical or possible to cover every situation you may encounter on a job site, the rules and instructions in this presentation will provide you with a starting point for developing good safety habits. Knowledge is a major and significant ingredient for becoming a proficient and safe operator. Applying that knowledge will make you that operator. For additional information about Doosan training resources, contact your Doosan authorized dealer.